Good morning. Thank you all for joining us for the Chamber Cafe on August 20th, Community Connections, and this time featuring the Port Hadlock area. We're running for an hour today, more or less, and generally our Chamber Cafes are always held on the first and third Friday of every month. And as always, no membership is required to participate or attend, and there is no cost. The Chamber Cafe schedule is on the Chamber website, calendar, and in all the events e-blasts that we send out. Registration is required to gain access for the cafes. This is our second in a series of Chamber Cafes, which are community connections and are going to include all of the communities in Jefferson County. A bit of housekeeping. We mute you all when you enter, so please try to remember, and we know how difficult it is, to unmute yourself before you speak and to remute yourself to keep the background noise and the barking down when you are finished. We are recording. We will have this up on our YouTube channel within usually 2 business days, and we generally have 30 to 50 people sign up for these cafes. We had about 30 today, so no exception, and we regularly lose about 50% of them between sign up and log on, so let's see how we do today. It's always a good guessing game. We do always have the best of intentions when we register, but stuff happens and we have conflicts, and we understand that. We e-blast the link for this out to a very wide and varied audience, and after we get this loaded on YouTube, we get dozens of viewers the same day and hundreds in the couple of weeks that follow the event. During the cafe, please enter questions into the chat and we'll try to get to them within our hour. And we'll also share some questions that come in from our Facebook group as well. If for some reason we don't get to your questions during the event, then know that we will do our best to have our presenters get responses to them the same day. At the end of cafe, we generally have a few minutes for what we call brieflies, where I share what's going on at the chamber outside of this, and you guys get to share what's happening in your organizations and businesses. So the way this is going to work today is I'm going to introduce you to all of our Port Hadlock area champions and give them each an opportunity to tell you a little bit about themselves and their businesses. And then we're going to go around the Zoom table again, and each of them will have an opportunity to take you for a deeper dive into their business and into the Port Hadlock area community. First up today, we have Tammy Brown of Peninsula Legal Secretarial Services. Thank you, Tammy, for joining us.
Thank you, Arlene. My name is Tammy Brown, and I own Peninsula Legal Secretarial Services in Port Hadlock, next to the Tri-Area Pharmacy. I've been in business since 2010, and I offer affordable business and legal secretarial services. I've been in the area for over 45 years. I've been married over 50 years. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Cami. Next up, we have Dr. Meredith, the director of the Jefferson County Library.
Thank you, Arlene. So the Jefferson County Library District is basically a main branch in Port Hadlock, about 11,000 square feet. And then we also operate our bookmobile, which serves 7 of the surrounding smaller communities in our county. We do serve pretty much all of Jefferson County, with the exception of inside the city limits of Port Townsend. They have their own library, but we do work very closely with them and actually manage a consortium of libraries that includes both public libraries and school libraries and special libraries at H.W. McCurdy Maritime Center. We've been here since 1979 as a district, and we enjoy serving the entire county.
Thank you so much. Bethany, you are up next. Bethany Smith from the Old Alcohol Plant.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Bethany from the Old Alcohol Plant, Spirits Bar and Grill and Bayside Housing in Port Hadlock. The Bayside's been in business since 2016, and the hotel and restaurant opened in 2017. And my family personally have been in the community since early on, 4th generation, I think. So, and my dad and myself, my husband, and my 2 kiddos graduated from Port Townsend High School. Yeah.
Thank you, Bethany. Next, we have Jacqueline Shapi from Hawksview Insurance. Jacqueline.
Thank you, Arlene. Yeah, my name is Jacqueline. I work here at Housekeeping Insurance. We've been located at the Salmon Business Park for a little over a year now, actually. And before that, we are located in the Port Townsend QFC. So kind of a new location for us. And yeah, I mean, what we do is basically help educate people on insurance and let them know options with all the different companies we work with. And, that way they can make the best solution for their insurance needs.
Thank you, Jacqueline. And next up, we have Kristin Mccary from Ajax Cafe.
I've been in the area for over 22 years now, which is kind of crazy when I went back to try and do the math. I've owned the Ajax for 17. The Ajax predated me quite a bit. It started in 1977. It's been a little institution down at the waterfront near the Northwest School of Wooden Boat Building. I guess that's it.
Well, thanks. And last but never least, we have Betsy Davis from the Northwest School of Wooden Boat Building. Betsy.
Thank you. Excited to be here with you guys. And this is the 40th anniversary of the Northwest School of Wooden Boat Building. And it started in the boatyard up in Port Townsend and moved down to Port Hadlock in the early 2000s. And our school has a mission to teach craftsmanship through boat building and marine systems. Our campus in Port Hadlock is 7 acres. And that's enough for now.
All right. Well, that was a really great introduction to all of you and the wide scope of businesses and services that are available in the Port Hadlock area. And now we're going to go back in and we're going to go through the same order and take a deeper dive. So, Tammy, you're up. Tammy, unfortunately, I think you're muted.
Sorry, guys, I tried so hard. I found the need in my community to assist my clients in typing resumes, helping them through the court process, court documents, transcription proceedings, minutes from recorded meetings, completing forms online. So all of that helps my clients get affordable secretarial services, which is really needed in our community. I think that's it.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Cami.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot one thing. I am a notary public and I'm also a signing agent. That's very important. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we're going back to Dr. Meredith at the library.
Sure, thank you. So if you've been in a public library recently, you know we're more than just books and DVDs and the things that you check out off a shelf. That is very true with our district as well. So we do have our main building here in Port Hadlock. We have lots of DVDs, books, and all sorts of other things you can check out. But we also have public computer access, 24/7 Wi-Fi, copiers, all of those sorts of things that are basically make a community functional when you need those access points. For those who are visiting in the area, we're 100% accessible as well. We offer visitor cards. Our bookmobile serves a lot of our smaller communities around the area. And in fact, we have a lot of visitors who use our bookmobile because they have vacation homes. And so we may only see them a couple times a year when they're here visiting, but they get their library cards and they're stopping by the bookmobile in Gardner or out on the Coil or in one of those locations as well. So we have professionally trained staff here to answer questions. We do interlibrary loan requests from all over the country. We have people doing research here for their next book or their next art project or their next travel event. Whether they're in the library or outside of the library, we can support those needs. So if you don't already have a library card and aren't already using us, please stop by and do so. If you need your next e-audiobook or a downloadable video, we're ready to serve those needs. Classes right now are all online, unfortunately, and will probably remain that way for some time, but we do offer technology classes and other programs, story times for kids, all that sort of fun stuff. So give us a call, shoot us an email, or stop on by.
You do a lot at the library. I know one of the questions on And Facebook was you do a lot, you have a lot of programs. And I know the Chamber's always sending visitors to the library. It seems like a lot of the things that they need are there. I'm wondering, Facebook, two people asked this question, and I know it's what's the most unusual program or item at the library that you'd like to share with us?
Oh boy, the most unusual. Well, I would say our programs are pretty diverse. So we've done everything from your standard author visits to, and it's pre-COVID, obviously, you know, when we'd have a larger number of people in the building. I think some of the most fun are things like bringing in, I think 4-H brought in like a reptile, you know, event where we suddenly had all sorts of snakes and lizards all over out and being held and out in one of our meeting rooms. Those are great events. We had one that we were scheduled to do about mushrooming that we just had to actually postpone because we couldn't let people gather. So a lot of those sorts of diverse events. But I think the reptiles is probably one of the better ones. And as far as items to check out, you know, we have this collection called the WOW collection, which is our weird, odd, and wonderful items collection. So everything from, I'm trying to think of some of the fun things we have. You know, you can check out like the code readers for your car, you know, when you have to reset the codes or check codes when the check engine light goes on. You can check those out from us. We have tools. We have American Girl doll kits.
Wow.
We have grandparents who will come and borrow those when their grandkids are visiting.
That is excellent.
Yeah, so a lot of just random items. If you look in our library catalog and look for weird, odd, and wonderful, there's a link on one side. You can get a list of all of these things that we've collected over the years that can be checked out. So, but yeah, between the code reader and the American Girl doll kit, we kind of span everything.
You do. That is fascinating information. Thank you, Dr. Meredith. Bethany, take a deep dive here and let us know what's going on.
Yes. So the old alcohol plant is an inn and a restaurant and partners with a nonprofit transitional housing and services program. And so we're kind of intermingled. So Bayside helps, or a lot of the inn facets and employees help Bayside so we can support their mission. So that goes from making meals every day for Bayside residents, tiny home residents, and fairgrounds folks, and goes to supporting services to help people get their identification so they can get services like Social Security and Medicare, things like that. Yeah. And so the inn was, the actual building was built way long time ago, 1911, by Charles Adams and Company, who happens to be the famous photographer Ansel Adams' dad. So a lot of history there at the old alcohol plant with a fun connection to photography and art, which we like to have. We had an art gallery, but with COVID, we've been holding off on that, but we have been showing art in the hallway by the restaurant. So we have Tom White up right now. And then in September, we're getting a dual art show happening in the hallway. So that's exciting. And yeah, the restaurant is doing well. We have loads of outdoor space for dining. So if you're scared of COVID or the Delta variant, know that our servers wear masks and we'll serve you outside. Yeah, so I think that's about it.
So one of the things about the restaurant that really makes it very special, particularly due to the location, is the whole farm to table concept and
Yes.
how that works and what you do out there. You might want to maybe let us all know a little bit about that.
Yeah, so a lot of the property is edible. So we have gardens up top at the Bayside, down by the marina, and they're kind of taking over my events wedding space, the lawn, the garden's kind of taking over. So a lot of the products that is in the garden we use in the restaurant. So your mixed green salad is strictly from the garden, and they harvest on Thursdays. So if you come on a Thursday, you'll have freshly harvested products, so which is really fun. So we have 3 gardeners that are doing a wonderful job. We have everything from cabbage for the slaw to mixed greens to an 80-year-old rosemary tree that we use. So yeah, it's really exciting. So yeah, thank you, Arlene, for
Well,
asking that.
yeah, and there's one other thing too. Let's talk tiny houses.
Yeah, so 2 tiny home villages. So the first one is Peter's Place, which is out by the United Methodist Church in Port Hadlock. We ask that people don't go out to visit because that's their home. But there is a model home on San Juan Avenue at the Baptist Church where they're currently building the new homes, which is going to be Pat's Place, which we are working on permitting, etc., to be in Port Townsend. And so the first village, the homes were typically just made for single people, where the second village, we're going to have 3 larger homes that will be good for like a couple. So yeah, so we're still in the works. There's been a lot of red tape and a little bit of pushback. But there's lots of information on the Bayside website to show that we're not just taking fairgrounds folks and putting them in the middle of Port Townsend. That's not what's happening. So the tiny homes in the Bayside are managed quite the same. There's a code of conduct. We have rules. If you break them, you're out, right? So and everyone is vetted before they are allowed to be a part of the tiny homes or of Bayside.
So there's nothing going on out there, huh? Yeah.
No, nothing's happening. It's
Yeah.
really boring, super boring.
Boring is not something that you ever have to worry about,
That's
Bethany.
right, that's right.
Jacqueline, I know that your company does a lot of work in the community, so tell us a little bit more about your company and what you do and how you work.
Yeah, so here in Port Hadlock, myself and Linda here, we specialize in the personal property and casualty portion. So your home, auto, of course, all the basic stuff, boats and things, of course, with the Wooden Boat Fest. Yeah, they've actually allowed me to leave early on Friday to, go volunteer at the Wooden Boat Fest. So I'm really excited to go do that. I put up some posters in Squim a couple weekends ago or so. That was fun, just going out to even, further communities than just here, just letting people know that we do other things. And that's really what our goal is, really just trying to, network with the community, local loan officers, real estate agents, when people are buying homes, selling homes. It's a whole process. And, we all need to be on the same page, open communication. In the world we live right now, things are so fast paced, quick. You can do everything online, but is that really the best way to do it? Do you have, the tools and knowledge to understand your options and what that really means, what your coverage means and how to protect yourself, your family and all that stuff. And yeah, I mean, we do like referral things too, when our clients like send us referrals, we donate to local nonprofits and things of that nature. But yeah, I mean, what we specialize really is just educating our clients or prospects, even whether they, get insurance with us or not. The best part about it is we have so many companies that we work with and learn about constantly ever changing and growing business that we learn about you. And that way, steer you in the right direction for your best option so you can make the best decision for yourself. With the pandemic, of course, the cost of labor is lumber has increased dramatically. So, people's houses, should be evaluated on the home because they cost more to rebuild now, things of that nature. And with Washington, actually, mid-June, they just changed regulations on how companies can rate your insurance and therefore your price that you pay. Of course, everyone wants to know their bottom line as well. And so that's, giving people, maybe price increases, not only for that, of course, other reasons as well. But also some people, maybe have a lower price and then can actually afford to have some better coverages as well. So that's a good thing. And we have 2 other branches too in Shelton and Port Orchard. And so we do also business, commercial, life and health even too. But yeah, we have a good team. Be able to learn with each other and help our clients and neighbors.
So one of the questions about insurance that always comes up, these days is that, people know what they need, they think, right?
Mm,
And so if they already know that and they already have insurance and it's time to renew,
mm.
shouldn't they just renew online and like skip talking to you and all of your team? Or is there a better way to do this?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question because, it is important to take a look at what your price is, but to make sure your coverages are correct, yeah, you might have had whatever this last year, this coverage for liability limits, for example, your auto insurance. The state minimum liability limits for Washington for medical expenses is 25,000 per person, 50,000 per accident. That was started in the 1970s and has never changed. I'm pretty sure we can all agree the cost of everything has increased from there to now. So, I mean, especially us, we're on the peninsula. If someone has to get airlifted to, Harbor View or something like that, just kind of understanding your options and making sure you have all the discounts available too. Because, yeah, you might not know that there's a discount for your kid. It's a good student. Well, guess what? That's a good incentive for them to keep being a good student. They get a discount. And things of that nature. So that way, there are options and we stay connected with the different companies. We work with like over 30 different companies. So we know what their appetite is. And, it's not always good to jump around all the time, but sometimes it is to know your options.
So, one of the questions that came in, and I know we've been having a lot of those discussions with people calling the chamber, is about the vaccination and non-vaccination status of employees in the business world, and how that's going to affect everybody's insurance policies. And I know every insurance company is looking at this and looking at, do we increase our rates? How do we use this coverage? How can we protect our members? How can we keep our costs from going up just incrementally due to all of this? And I wonder if you have any insight that you'd like to share.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the pandemic has put a whole shift in different things, but it's also made it so that different companies can shine light on other things as well, just what's really available out there. And, with the pandemic, there's a lot of fear, unfortunately, so that, makes people want to point fingers at each other. So really making sure that you have protection is really what it is. It's not just a commodity, it's not just something you have to have because your bank says you need it or whatever, something like that. It actually is there to protect you. It's basically, when it comes down to it, it could be you've been paying 5 years because you don't have to pay a lawyer anymore because, you're being sued for something of that nature. You have an umbrella policy now, so you're covered kind of thing. And yeah, we're open to the public too, of course, with masks and whatnot too, for people to come in.
All right, thank you, Jacqueline. Kristen, let's dive deeper into what's going on at Ajax. And I know you and Betsy can practically shake hands out your windows. So good for you to know that if you're going out to see Betsy, you can stop in and see Kristen as well. Take it away, Kristen.
Yeah, so I mean, the Ajax has a long history. The building itself was like the original home of Samuel Hadlock. So, and then at one point it was like the community center for the whole kind of tri-area community center. It's listed on the historical registry. It's a really sweet area, and it's kind of has this history of being like a little gathering place. I mean, and it's been a restaurant since 1977, started by a group of local guys who wanted a place to play music. And now, I mean, it's gone through all sorts of reiterations throughout the years, but mainly it's been a dinner house for years. And our idea pre-COVID was that we were going to kind of expand upon those hours and do a little bit more lunch and breakfast. But we're kind of holding back a little bit on that right now. And our hours are somewhat limited. We're just kind of taking care of our core staff. So we're doing Thursday through Sunday. We're doing kind of an earlier opening with some bites and snacks at 2 most days. And then we open at 5 for our regular dinner service, which is still our busiest time. And, we have quite a bit of outdoor seating that we've added, but we still are, we still don't really have enough seating for the number of folks that want to come in. So we're unfortunately turning away quite a bit of folks right now. But it's still good. So reservations are great inside. And then we do have that outdoor seating that's like the first come, first serve, but it still gets crowded pretty quickly. We've always been, in this mindset that we want to support our community. So we've always bought from the local farms and shellfish providers. So we have Hamma just down the road now, which is super cool. Obviously, mainly we deal with Dharma Ridge and Red Dog for our farming, but we deal with all the other farms too, local cheese, all that kind of stuff. We do like a give back campaign, and we haven't done a lot of it since COVID, but every month we do like a day that's geared towards a different nonprofit. So we do a portion of our sales for that. I don't know. I guess that's it. That's what's happening today.
So the question that just came in is, tell us about your food. What does the menu look like? What is everybody's favorite dish or two?
It's funny. The restaurant has been around so long. So there's these like staples that have been on the menu forever. So we have these baby back ribs, and, we've actually tried to play with the recipe just to make it just to change it. I guess I honestly, I can't tell you, I'm so tired of making ribs, but you can't really change it. The locals love it the way it is. And so we keep going back to that rib recipe that I think is from 1977. So that's what it is. And it's great. It's good. And so but honestly, we probably sell more seafood than we do anything else. So, seafood in terms of right now, it's like we have a great provider that does Washington halibut. So we're doing fresh Washington halibut right now, which is beautiful. And then we do obviously clams, mussels, oysters, all that kind of stuff is huge here. So yeah, probably our biggest seller is fish, and then we do steaks. And I think there's a trend, people are eating healthier maybe, but we don't sell as many steaks as we used to, but we definitely still sell our share of steaks. Yeah.
That's really interesting. Very interesting. I know that there was a couple of questions about that that have come in. So thank you, Kristin. That's a good look at Ajax and what you're doing. And Betsy, we're going to throw this to you, knowing there is so much going on now at the school. So share something with us. Did we lose Betsy? Let's see if we can find her and get her back. Betsy, you are muted. That's why we've lost you.
Sorry, and my internet went down temporarily. Let's see.
Yeah, it only right before your time to speak is when it happens. Yeah.
I just want to say it is so fun to sit on the deck of the Ajax and visit with people and look out at the water and the boats. And I recommend coming down on Thursday and Friday afternoons. It's really fun to be there. And I think what you'll see is in Lower Hadlock, this really is working waterfront. And there's a family-owned tugboat company right next door to the boat school, and they tow from Alaska to California. And we have Hamma oysters on the other side. We have sail makers upstairs, Sean Rankin. And then the boat building school. So it's a cool spot to come visit. We used to encourage people to visit the school. That was before COVID. We're now a vaccinated campus, and we're not encouraging tours, right? Or we're not encouraging self-guided tours right now. People need to contact me for a guided tour if they're going to come through. COVID. So very quickly, I wanted to share that we are 40 years old this year. And as you might know, we are a school that teaches boat building and traditional boat building and also wood composites. We're also a school that teaches marine systems, and that can be everything from engines to plumbing to electrical. This isn't a drop-in kind of thing. The boat building program is a year long. The systems program is 6 months long, and it's very intense. It's Monday through Friday. Last August, we started construction of a new building for the Marine Systems program And we completed that building, and the current cohort started in April, and they're going to graduate mid-September. Marine systems means learning about things like engines, plumbing, and installing all those different systems, in this case in simulators. We also love being in the Port Townsend area because there's so much interesting work going on in the yard, and we really feel a competitive advantage of this school. It's the quality of the marine trades in our area. There are a few boats that we're going to be launching August 31st. One of them is the Herrschaft Rosinante, built by students, all of the woodwork. And now the system students are installing an electric propulsion system and other systems. The same day, on the 31st, we're going to launch the Clean Bay, which is going to be an electric and solar workboat that will be a pump out boat down in Port Ludlow. It was constructed at the school by students, and it's going to be the prettiest pump out boat I think the world will ever see. There's solar panels up on top, and then it has electric propulsion. We typically have the school year will start October 4th, and we have full enrollment, 36 students coming in for the year-long boat building program and 18 students coming in for marine systems. COVID is really challenging for us because we're teaching hands-on skills while trying to keep everybody safe. Last year, we were closed for 3 months, and then we opened in July, and 100% of those returning students graduated in December. We took a few months off and then started our systems program this spring. So we are still planning on a start October 4th with full enrollment, and we look forward to a year ahead. Hopefully things get better. And we really, really, really appreciate the community in Port Hadlock, and also what you're doing, Arlene, helping educate people around the communities in our area. So thank you all.
Thanks, Betsy. A question that came in is, where do your students come from?
Thank you for asking. Typically, about half of our students come from Washington, and the other half come from around the country, and a few students frequently from around the world.
So given that they're coming from everywhere, and we have a tiny little challenge of housing here, where are they finding places to live while for that 6 months or a year that they're here?
The students have a challenge finding a place to live, just as everyone else. And there's such a range. Some people end up living in a camper and finding a place to have the camper, and other people buy a house. You know, it's such a range of students. But I would say for the most part, people have found rooms in other houses or found places to rent. It's getting harder and harder. We're fortunate. There are some individuals in this community who believe in the trades, at the marine trades, and they have rented a room to a boat school student for 20 years.
Wow.
And they still do. And we have other people coming forward saying, you know, I'm downsizing a little bit, and so now I have some space to rent, and I'd like to rent to a student. So housing is a big issue, and we're trying to think out 10 years, 20 years. What do we as a school need to do to make sure that lack of housing doesn't preclude people being able to learn?
Good to know that. Thank you, Betsy. There's a couple more questions that have come in that I want to run through some of you. Let's see. Kristin, I'm vegan, and do you have any vegan between the steak and fish? And I am too, so I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah, we have always at least 2 options. So right now, our vegan dish, we just actually played with it a little bit. And it's because I got excited about farro, but that doesn't really matter to anybody here. But so we're doing like it's a garlic white bean paste, and then we're doing like this stuffed bell pepper that's coming fresh from the local farms with kind of almost like a ratatouille style. So like really kind of eggplant, zucchini, some local mushrooms, yellow squash, kind of stuffed in this pepper. And then it's done with this kind of on this farro and quinoa base with that white bean paste. And then it has a little bit of, we did a ton of dried tomatoes through COVID. I don't know why, but we were dehydrating tomatoes like crazy. So then it has like sauce underneath with those dehydrated tomatoes. But that's vegan. That's our evening vegan dish. And then we also have the vegan burger that we do. And then we have a couple appetizers that are vegan. But, yeah.
So, and the other question that just came in is, okay, so you're vegan, cool. What about my gluten-free friends?
Yeah, so gluten-free is, it's funny. We definitely have a ton of stuff that's gluten-free, like our fish, or, traditionally is gluten-free, our pork, our steaks, most of our main entrees, and we do everything from scratch. So there's not a lot of like added strangeness in any of our stuff. Where it becomes an issue, and the only thing I say is that we definitely do everything we can to make sure it's not cross-contaminated. But the kitchen is literally a kitchen from 1890. So it's not a huge space. So we always have to, kind of, there is a danger in a space that size, because we also make our own fresh bread, that there could be theoretically some cross-contamination that happens. But yeah, we definitely have a lot of gluten-free options, but we do worry about that whole size of the kitchen and cross-contamination sometimes, but just based on space. But yeah. We haven't had any issues, but.
Well, and there are so many different ways that people eat now, and different priorities, and plant-based is becoming a really popular option for a lot of our visitors. It's one of the things that they look to us for, like, where can I go if I don't do this? And the list of what I don't eat is huge these days. So it's always good for us to know when you've added new dishes to the menu that are not available for everyone, that for people with dietary challenges they can eat, because it is challenging in Port Townsend, and although most of the restaurants are very accommodating, and they will like help prepare food for you that you can eat within most dietary restrictions. So one of the things that people asked is about the bookmobile, Dr. Meredith, and is that on a specific place-based rotation, or is it possible to reach out to you and get a special bookmobile to come to really excite a community from a Rotary Club or Kiwanis or some other venue?
Bookmobile on call. I like the idea. No, actually, our large, our full-size bookmobile, it's a 34-foot box truck on a semi chassis, basically. So it is on a scheduled rotation. So it visits specific communities on specific days, and they are very beholden to their times and days for those that use them. So we don't typically take it out of rotation on those days unless there's a really special event, like something. The bookmobile will be at the Quilcene Fair on September 18th. So it will spend most of the day at the Quilcene Fair, and we will use our courier van to do deliveries to the sites that it would normally visit that day. So no, our bookmobile is pretty fixed in how it travels around. However, if there are individuals that are looking for either library programs or presentations or collaboration opportunities, we are happy to facilitate that. So we try to do as much as we can out and around the county. But the last year and a half, it's been on Zoom, but we're happy to do Zoom. We're happy to do it in person when we can. So just let us know.
So out of today, I think we have a new program, Dial a Book, coming up. They have Dial a Ride in the community now, so that is fun. So I want to thank all of you. I think we now know a tremendous amount more about the exciting things that are happening in the Port Hadlock area than we knew when we started today. And we are appreciative of each of you for joining us and telling us about your resources and the lifestyle in the community. And we're going to enter that part of the program where we do brieflies, and I'll set the pace, and then I hope all of you will jump in and tell us what's going on, what's new, what's happening on Zoom or live, and where we go from here. So next month, our chamber cafes are a teeny bit off schedule just because of our speakers. So the next one we're doing is September 10th, and it's still Friday from 10 to 11 on Zoom. Jefferson County Commissioner Kate Dean will be kicking off our first JC Will adventure. What is that acronym you're saying? I'm so glad you asked. That's the Jefferson County Women in Leadership program. And that's a new program from us, but it's not really new. The participants in the Women in Business program decided that they wanted to take a much more affirmative position for the re-engineering of our program and the revitalization of our community. And so it is now Jefferson County Women in Leadership. And Kate's going to be talking about economic development in Jefferson County, what's going on now, what the plans are for the future, and specifically geared to all of the entrepreneurs in our community, a lot of whom are on this call right now. And the guest for that program is the regional director of the SBA, and they're going to be discussing all of their new funding opportunities. And the emphasis of that is on women-owned businesses. However, brave men are always welcome at these events. It is free and open to all of the business community, and membership is not required. I think funding for entrepreneurs, and specifically women entrepreneurs, is the most often received question at the chamber with people that are looking at starting businesses. I have this great idea, and most of the time it is, but I don't have any money. How do I make this happen? And during COVID, funding for startups has been incredibly difficult to find, and it used to be a lot more available than it is now. But there are state programs that can help and educational programs that can help, but also the SBA has some new programs coming out that are quite helpful. So I think that September 10th, and we'll be sending, of course, lots of information out about that, is a date to plan on attending. And then on September 17th, we're topic. Not that any of you could possibly be having problems hiring people to work in your organizations and businesses, but some of us have been. And so that whole housing issue, geographic hiring, work ethic issue, those aren't problems that we have that can be overcome. And so we have the HR pros at Express Employment Professionals, who are members of the chamber, coming in to talk about this issue and why good people leave and how we can keep that from happening and how we can work together on the challenges facing reopening our businesses in the community. They have some really good ideas and they're going to share it with us. Express Employment has in US and Canada over 800 business locations, and they have a full range of employment solutions. So something to consider and a date to save for sure. We also have a date that we don't know what it is yet, but it's coming soon. And we are going to be introducing our new public health director, Dr. Allison Berry, who also shares that role with Clallam County, to all of Jefferson County. We've had the pleasure of working with her now for a while, and she's fabulous. And unfortunately, she has a new challenge to handle just as she takes on her new role, and that is the variant that is here now of COVID and what's coming down the line. So she's going to talk about new programs, future programs, boosters, all kinds of things that are happening and what the plans are to do with that. And because the chamber works so closely with Department of Emergency Management and Public Health, we're excited to be able to produce this event and have her on it. And next Wednesday, August 25th, we are hosting the annual meet and greet for Jefferson County's new teachers and educational staff and our new school superintendent, Dr. Linda Rosenberry, who is unique and fabulous, and it brings a whole new perspective to our education in Jefferson County. So that's going to be exciting, and it is a masked event. It is going to be at the Cotton Building in Port Townsend from 6 to 7 p.m. And we hope that you will join us in welcoming these teachers and staff to our community. All right, I've told you what's going on here. Raise your paw. Who wants to share? Seeing so many hands in the air. All right, I'm going to call on someone. Bethany. Okay, Anne, you're next.
Yes.
Because
I
we
think
know
have
there's
some-
always great things going on.
Yes, there's definitely something coming up. So September 5th is a Sunday, Labor Day weekend. We're having another music festival outside. We're having the Bread and Gravy Quintet from Port Angeles and also the Buck Eller Band from Squim. And it's going to be a country rock and Americana good time. So tickets are on our website under the summer music series, and tickets just dropped. So we're really excited, and we hope to see you out there, and we hope for good weather.
We do too. Thanks, Bethany. That sounds great. Anne, you're up next.
I just want to introduce myself. I'll be new to the community. I bought property at mile 3 on Oak Bay Road, and I'm in the process of getting zoning and permitting to build a 24-room retreat center. So yeah, the focus will be on groups that come not for individual rentals, but that are wanting to do a corporate or not-for-profit retreat, a writer's workshop, yoga retreat. So I really look forward to and made note of connecting to some of my fellow business and not-for-profit owners. I really want to be integrated in the community, source locally, have opportunities for guests to learn about local businesses, local history and culture. That's a really important part of what I want to do. So look forward to meeting you all in the months ahead. I don't have a road, so I can't live on site yet, but I've gone between Port Gamble and Seattle, which is where I'm from, soon.
Well, welcome, Anne, and great concept. We look forward to working with you at the Chamber as well and helping promote your future endeavors. Oh, wow, hands are going up. Brent, I think you were next.
Hi, my name's Brent Shirley. I own the car wash in Port Townsend, and I want to offer you all a free wash. When you come into the wash, just tell them the Chamber Cafe, and we'll be glad to clean you up.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you, Brent. And I'm excited because I looked at my car this morning in great disgust. So your timing's perfect. Shayna, you're next.
Hi, I'm Shayna. I work for a little startup company called Cascade Community Connections, and we support people with intellectual disabilities in our community. We help them find meaningful things to do with their time by organizing their social life. And if they want jobs and gainful employment, then we connect with businesses and find out what your needs are, and then how we could have somebody like specifically niche into something like paper shredding. Or we have a guy who's starting a candy machine business. And so we're looking for companies to host a candy machine or snack machine, the little quarter ones.
Oh, how fun. How great. Anybody else have anything to share with us today? I'm seeing some more hands. Betsy, there's more going on.
I just wanted to mention that this week in the Port Townsend Leader, we've included a copy of our annual magazine, Hull Racer, and it tells stories of the boats being worked on. There's an article about electrical propulsion. And if you've already read it, if you could just pass it along to someone, that would be great. Thanks.
No problem. Anybody else have a hand raised? Whoa, let's look around carefully, seeing none. I'm going to share that next Wednesday, the next edition of the Business Insider comes out as the Blow-In in the Leader. So please look for that, and Jeff Connects will be coming out as well. So we're excited to share that, and remember that my staff reaches out to the community almost every day looking to help you promote what you're doing in both those publications. So return their calls, return their emails, and it's free. And we help market everything happening in this community, not just to the community and the region, but literally all over the country. And we have people overseas as well who can't wait to be able to come here again. So I want to thank you again for sharing the day with us. And it looks like we're not going to have too much rain, except for maybe today, in the next couple of weeks, and so we'll be able to wash our cars and keep them clean and non-streaked, which would be lovely. But I also want to share that please stay safe and healthy. We have a program that we are rebooting now with Department of Emergency Management and Public Health, which was Safe and Healthy Together. There are posters, there are copies of our new masking mandates, both local and statewide. We have masks and hand sanitizer available for you guys to pick up at the office, and we can deliver them to you if it'll help you. We need to be able to, and we're open to the public as well for the visitor center, so we hear the questions of people coming in and who aren't having to do any of this where they come from. So the goal is to help keep you and your team safe and healthy. So please feel free to use that service and pass it along to all of the businesses around you, no matter what community you're in. So thank you all again for joining us. We look forward to seeing you at our next cafe. We're here to answer any questions you might have and handle the challenges that you're facing. Stay safe and healthy, and most of all, shop local. Take good care, you guys. Bye.